Let me resume, and I'm going to try to keep this brief. But just because we need to make that transition, because otherwise it could be potentially startling, maybe even traumatizing, I've been conditioned to acclimate, right? I've had to experience it enough. And I now understand logically at least one means by which it can occur. It's one of these things when, as I was saying at the beginning of the last one, you evaluate the old appropriations bills, which I was doing just last night. I was evaluating old appropriations just last night after coming across a very important sequence that I believe is absolutely 100% material evidence in my ongoing investigation and prosecution. And one of the things it does is it discusses this concept of allocable frequencies. And it even in 2008 gave the president the I'm sorry, 2000, in 1993. In 1993, the president was given the authority to acquire, to allocate frequencies and to reallocate them as necessary for national security purposes. Now, this is a very, very specific element of my investigation. Not only the 1993 appropriations, that, among other things, have a 15-year term associated with them, but also things that happened in 2008 that I believe are absolutely materially relevant to a variety of things that have been happening in the last 10 to 12 years concerning public safety, but specifically the allegations concerning police misconduct and how those factor into a larger national and international security paradigm that has been disingenuous in the representation of the role that human beings play as subjects of medical experimentation and or research and development for product development that includes so-called technology, including emerging technology, but also weapons paradigms. And those processes and the refusal to disclose and allow for us to be consciously engaged in whatever the implications are for us, including biophysiologically or economically, has also led to a perpetuation of a completely unacceptable contract bidding syndicate that has now violated the Constitution in egregious matters, in specifically the state of Texas, but also other states, including unconstitutional changes to law in other states, and also the federal government. And I just say this because one of the things it discusses is a process whereby one can switch out the bandwidths. So it's almost like one of those events where you're talking and you're on a very good track, and then all of a sudden, bam, a person gets a cell phone call or a text message, and then the energy changes. And the next thing you know, when the conversation resumes, it's completely different than it was before, right? It's a completely different track. And a lot of times, for me at least, it's also a downgrade. It's also like, well, we're done with that level of currency. We've apportioned it to who we're going to give it to. Now you're going to be remanded here. And by the way, there's more liability here. So it's a much more toxic current. Now I'm acknowledging that this has happened, and I'm also acknowledging that I had to make space on my desktop in order to record a new video, which meant I had to take things that were previously on my desktop and put it on the storage. And what I just put on the storage is incredibly, incredibly valuable, and is what I would be investing in the economy. And I will beginning on Monday. But I'm going to return now to what I was discussing before, which was that there was today release of information. It was made formally public here, but in another playlist that was supposed to be released on Monday in order to keep with the official timelines. However, it was understood this morning after information about a terrorist attack last night that what happened yesterday in terms of the actual creation of what was put forward into the public realm today, that was meant for Monday, that was also meant to be a form of political capital contribution to a political paradigm concurrent with the more material matters, including material matters that were going to need to be supported with criminal prosecutions. right? And so the presentation of that today and the attended events that happened last night have kind of altered or adjusted those timelines, and yet they are still going to move forward. So I understand that we're in a situation where some people have a holiday. I wish you a good holiday if this is a holiday that you yourself observe. And on Monday, I will do what I need to do. It will be a, shall we say, concurrent situation involving that. It would seem there needs to be a little more support, as if we need to make sure that rather than there being one current that's going on off the record, undercover, or on some sort of illicit or non legal tender stream that's supposed to be private when we're talking about the public good, that they both be able to work concurrently together and boldly and effectively. So we'll go ahead and deal with that on Monday. In the meantime, take care of yourself and also understand that while we're setting these in motion and working toward their fulfillment, the major days we're going to have to think about are going to start on Monday. Monday is going to be April 5th. This is going to be very important. And then the next day after that will be April 12th, which will have a specific matter to be addressed. And then we'll go on to understanding that April 18th is a Sunday. So we will be dealing with things on the following Monday, which will be April 19th. And that's what we're all looking for. That means we have 3 shots before the end of the month. And we're going to make them.